Hello guys, it's Revolution, a mashup between Dragon Ball and Naruto. Today, in this video, we are going to discuss what if the Akatsuki, one of the most highly feared and hacked organizations in all of anime, were in Dragon Ball, except we're not going to pull the characters such as Itachi, Nagato, etc. from the Naruto series. We're actually going to make a Dragon Ball Akatsuki. What if that organization was present in Dragon Ball Super? So, suspend your disbelief, imagine you have the Super Dragon Balls, and you can wish to create your organisation, the Dragon Ball Akatsuki, from any antagonist that's appeared throughout Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. Now this video isn't about power, it's about hacks abilities. Imagine that all stats are equalised for anybody they fight in the Dragon Ball series. We will not be picking from Gods of Destructions or anything above that position, it will be from the multiverse of Dragon Ball Super only. But before we begin, a quick notice: if you're not subscribed, do subscribe, and if you are subscribed, make sure you click the bell button next to the subscribe button, as well as clicking all notifications on. Keep smashing that like button, keep lending the Daishinken your energy. So this would be my Dragon Ball Akatsuki organisation. By all means, let me know yours down in the comment section, but there will be 10 members of this Akatsuki, based on the 10 rings of the Akatsuki, and given that they were an infamously hacked group, this will be about hacked characters from Dragon Ball. Let's go. The first member in my Akatsuki would be Buhan. Majin Buu is one of the most hacked characters in Dragon Ball's history, originally intended to be the final villain of Dragon Ball. At least from Akira Toriyama's perspective, Majin Buu had an abundance of hacks abilities such as regeneration. He has ability mimicry, he can copy attacks that he's only seen once, he can turn people into candy or food, otherwise known as transmutation. His body is utterly ridiculous, it's capable of shape-shifting and extreme elasticity, and on top of that, he can simply absorb you and steal your powers. Now the reason I've gone for Buhan over other versions of Buu is not because of his power, because he's the most powerful Buu, it's because of the fact that he's already absorbed Gohan and Piccolo, so that gives him a great degree of intelligence. Of course, we never really got to see this in the series, because he literally got sideswiped by Vegito, so Buu is a mixture of hacks abilities and intelligence and will be extremely useful in this organisation. Now this one's a throwback, going all the way back to the original Dragon Ball, Spike the Devilman, also known as Devilman. Now the reason I've got Spike in this organisation is simply because of one technique, the Devil Might Beam. This technique transforms an opponent's negative thoughts into destructive beams that will literally annihilate anything in its path. Of course, it won't work on somebody who doesn't have negative thoughts or a negative heart, as it didn't work on Goku in the original Dragon Ball because of his pure heart and pure mind, but if used wisely against the right opponent, this attack is devastating. Given that the Akatsuki are essentially a team, they could utilise this attack at the optimal moment. The third member on this team is going to be Super Perfect Cell. Cell has an abundance of hacks, he has all the traits of Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, Piccolo, 3 different races. He is a master martial artist. Due to this fact, he has regeneration, he learnt the instant transmission technique after being blown to bits by Goku. But the reason I'd want Cell in this organisation is because he can spawn Cell Juniors. Whilst not a direct comparison to the 6 Paths of Pain, it does have a similarity in the fact that he can have his Cell Juniors fight you before you even get to him. And to top it all off, he has absorption as well. The fourth member in my organisation would be Guldo, a time manipulator. Using Time Freeze, Guldo can freeze time to either escape enemies or help his allies escape enemies. He also has telekinesis, where he can manipulate objects with the power of his mind, which means he could manipulate what is occurring on the battlefield whilst using Time Freeze. Whilst he can only use this ability for a limited amount of time, it certainly would gain him and his allies an advantage on the battlefield should he use it. And talking about time manipulators, the 5th member of my team would be the legendary assassin Hit. Of course, whilst Hit was an antagonist, he wasn't quite evil, but he is essentially an assassin and murderer. If the right people pay him the right money, then he will do the job, regardless of his personal feelings towards you, regardless of who you are. Whilst Guldo's time manipulating techniques could be used for defensive means on the battlefield, Hit's time manipulating abilities can be used for offensive means. Hit can create pocket time dimensions that he can phase in and out of, that are parallel dimensions to the enemy that he is facing, re-entering reality from wherever he likes. He can also use the time he's stored to bind enemies in a time cage where they are literally unable to move unless they are significantly more powerful than him. He also has extreme reactive adaptation that even outweighs the Saiyan's adaptation. Don't forget, this guy is a legendary assassin. He has abilities such as pressure point strikes, intangible and invisible attacks, and stealth mastery. The sixth member in this organisation would be from Universe 9, Bergamo the Crusher. In the Zen exhibition match, we saw him absorb the amount of power Goku was attacking him with and grow in size and power himself, going from fighting against base Goku to believing he can match Super Saiyan Blue Goku in power. Now, of course, this is borrowed power because he's essentially taken the power from his opponent, and it's unknown whether this lasts beyond the battle if he is defeated. And obviously it has a limit given that he was eventually defeated by Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. But given that we are equalising stats, if he is relative to his opponent, all that's going to happen is he's going to get stronger than his opponent whilst fighting them. The seventh member in my organisation would be Android 17. However, I'm not choosing the Dragon Ball Super version of Android 17. I would take him from the Android saga simply because he has a chip on his shoulder. Of course, Android 17 is an infinite model android, meaning he has limitless stamina. He does not tire, and he can spam moves such as his android barrier to great effect. Of course, his sister Android 18 has this too, but the advantage you get with Android 17 is he's a motherfucking strategic genius. Even before Dragon Ball Super, he was fighting on par with Piccolo, who was considered the strategic genius of Dragon Ball Z. Quite simply put, the longer the fight goes on against Android 17, the more the opponent's in trouble. The eighth member of my Akatsuki would be future Zamasu. This version of Zamasu became immortal after using the Super Dragon Balls to wish for immortality. The reason I've gone for this version of Zamasu and not Goku Black or merged Zamasu is one, because obviously Goku Black himself is not immortal, it's just Zamasu in Goku's body, and merged Zamasu is emerging between Goku Black and Zamasu was, despite being significantly stronger than regular Zamasu and Goku Black, the immortality of merged Zamasu was weakened by the fact that Goku Black's mortal body was part of that fusion. So I've gone with future Zamasu here because his immortality means he can literally just keep taking blow after blow. He will just keep regenerating. The only thing we know that could override Zamasu's immortality is of course erasure, but that's not a skill that's easy to come by. And to top that off, Zamasu is a master martial artist, not by regular standards, but even considered a master martial artist amongst the gods. The ninth member of my team would be Captain Ginyu. Of course, Captain Ginyu possesses an ability called Body Change, where he can change bodies with his opponent. If the Akatsuki are struggling with an opponent with a certain set of abilities or power, they could always just get Captain Ginyu to perform this body change technique on the opponent, and they would acquire the skills of this powerful or skilled opponent through Captain Ginyu's body change. Of course, also rendering the opponent at that time weakened. And last but not least, and you may call this one a little premature considering we are still in the middle of Moro's arc in the Dragon Ball Super manga, Moro has the ability to use his magic in order to garner power from not just the planets, the stars, but his opponents as well. He can absorb your energy without you even noticing and strengthening himself in the meantime. Now, of course, like I said, this is premature because we don't know the full array of Moro's abilities, but this ability in itself is deadly, as Goku and Vegeta are currently finding out. If Moro was to be part of an organisation where the focus was on the team achieving their goals and using their skills in their specialist moments to optimum effect, Moro simply has to sit back and absorb the energy whilst others do the fighting for him. So guys, they would be the 10 members of my Akatsuki organisation, a group of hacked individuals that could all use their skills in tandem to achieve whatever their goal may be. The question is for you guys, do you think that Goku and the rest of the Z Warriors could stand up to this group of hacked individuals? Of course, this is just a fun video, take it with a pinch of salt. Suspend your disbelief, either equalise the stats with whoever you think they would be fighting, or give them a plot convenient power up so they are relevant to the characters that are the current most powerful. That's why I've not included anybody like Jiren or even Broly for that matter, because whilst they are extremely powerful, and you could say Broly's adaptation is an amazing ability itself, I wouldn't quite call them specialized hacks. So guys, drop your thoughts down in the comments section. What do you think of my team? Let me know what your Akatsuki organization would be from Dragon Ball Super. How would my Akatsuki fare against the actual Akatsuki from Naruto if all stats were equalized? Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed to Revolution. Keep smashing that like button. Keep lending the dice Shenken your energy. Until next time, Ad Astra.